but it was clear to see that this fight was over. Just as Ramos was about to the fight begin to fight anew, the man removed one hand from his abdomen and slowly raised it above his head. That's it. Arbonne has had enough, folks. Ramos scoffed and spat to the side in annoyance before turning to the crowd and raising his arm in a triumphant roar. Despite the lackluster fight, the crowd still went wild with excitement. Always the blowhard, I see, rough-voiced man. The bench groaned as the man beside you shifted in his seat. His gruff, apathetic voice took you a bit by surprise as your first thought that the seat was empty. Though you didn't turn your head, he appeared to be a very large man with armor that rattled as he moved and tufts of fur protruding out between the cracks, hinting that he could be a beastman. Out of the corner of your eye, he appeared to be quite muscular with biceps easily the size of your thighs. Damn. Oh, sorry. A long slender tail flickered near his feet, occasionally brushing against your legs, confirming to you that he was a beastman. Another game with the tails like on your leg, but I already know why, but you gonna figure out why too. We'll talk about it when we get there. Someone like him, though filling the seat, should have alerted you, but then again, your attention was already pulled thin between the fight, the roaring crowd, and those meddlesome knights sniffing around. Speaking of those knights, though, the hairs on the back of your neck rose on end as you locked eyes with one of them. You were ready to flee, but rather than continuing his approach, he instead stopped and stared for several moments before turning to leave the stadium. As he left, he took the other knights with him. Let's start this time. Let me start it. It almost appeared as though they recognized you, but why would they suddenly leave, or just leave? You couldn't imagine Father giving them the order to just find you and not carry you back home kicking and screaming. Perhaps they were searching for someone else entirely? Still, it was strange. You know, too much bravado can lead to your downfall. Huh? It appeared that the man to your left was talking about the crude display Ramos was presenting from below. With Magnus's helmet in hand, oh damn, he pretended to slam it against his groin multiple times in a perverse way. What the hell? Rude. You couldn't stop chuckling though. So that's a cackle right there. That's a that's a cackle. A little bit of pride never hurt anyone. I suppose you might be right about that. Still, that's quite a barbaric display, even for him. When the rhino was finished with his boasting, he tossed the helmet aside and strode off the grounds. Well then, I take it you've had your fill of action? What? Still haven't recognized me? Suppose all this commotion does tend to dull the senses. What I'm saying is that it's time to come home now, Prince Matthew. The pause and the music. Just that was perfect. It wasn't planned. Was that planned? Let's roll back. Prince Matthew. I guess the music was still gonna play regardless, but that was perfect, Dan. That was perfect. Your heart plummeted. Okay, plummeted to your feet as the man whispered those last two words into your ear. Who was this man? How did the man know your name? Better yet, why did he make the assumption that you were a prince? No, that was a stupid question. He just now recognized this beastman's voice and had an idea who it was sitting next to you all this time, but refused to acknowledge it. Still, you had to face the music, so you slowly turned your head to properly and woefully greet your neighbor. Shit. You were about to hightail it out of your seat, but the beastman pushed you right back down. I'm sorry, y'all. I feel like I might have cut the roof of my mouth. It feels weird. It feels weird. Leandros, okay. Sit down. You're not going anywhere else without my permission. I'm like, oh, damn. Woo, you do not have clearance to stand right now. Please leave a message after the beep. um, his muscles tense as he gently dug into your arm, holding you firmly in place. You weren't getting away anytime soon. Thought you can leave the castle and not get caught, did you? I think it's safe to say you're in a lot of trouble when we get back home. You're always siding with father. I hate that it's father. I get it. It makes sense, but I would still say dad. But I would say father. I thought you were supposed to look out and cover for me. Isn't that what an older brother is supposed to do? Let's talk about it. You did not recognize your brother when he was speaking. You did not recognize how easily that this person who's probably a knight is like calmly and swiftly sitting down. He's a lion, a predator. He knows how to be quiet when he needs to be. He has a whole tail that you did not recognize. You only know one beastman that is a lion. All these things, and it slowly added up to like, oh shit, I was found out. I got caught. Like it took you to look him in the eyes for you to figure it out. What's this for anyway? Oops. My bad. Older brother's supposed to do. Okay. I'm your king's guard, not your scapegoat. And you know that I'm not your real brother. Oh God, don't say that. That's rude. You turned your head and flicked your tongue. We go through this every time, Matthew. You can't just leave the castle without first informing me. Family is family, and a found family is better than that of the womb. So, let's keep it moving. Not like you would have let me go if I asked anyway. True. Well, no, today is important, and you know that. Your father has been waiting patiently all day to see you at the party. Free food? All throughout the city, celebrations programmed through the streets and in taverns of your 20th year of life, with a grand and highly exclusive party reserved for nobles being held up at the castle. I was gonna say estate, y'all. I was gonna say estate. While you never cared much for it, your father always ensured it was a day to be celebrated. But it was less of a celebration for you and more of a way for him to show off and stroke his ego. While the common man would have killed for an invitation to the castle, what with the vast selection of entertainment, world-class cuisine, and fine drinks provided, you knew what really awaited you there. Pretentious, pompous patricians who would badger you with useless questions about what you would do when you become king and try to curry your favor as much as they could for their own benefit. I should not have eaten right before recording. My bad. It was a disgusting display of gratuity and boot looking? Maybe that's bootlicking. And bootlicking that you wanted to have no part of. Well then, Matthew, are you ready to go? If I say no, will you let me stay? No, I suppose I would then have to carry you off over my shoulder, and I'm sure you don't want that. Yikes. How did you even find me anyway? Stalling for time now? Yikes, that is your brother. Your brother know you. Leandro simply smiled. Koshiro informed me of your whereabouts. Oh, Koshi. Hey, boo, that's my other brother. What? But I thought he left the city over a week ago. I mean, I haven't seen him in forever. How could he possibly know where I was? You'd be surprised what he knows. I've been trailing you ever since you left the castle. Damn. You've been following me all this time? I thought it would be nice to let you have a bit of fun on your birthday, at the very least. But now it's time to leave. Well, that's very thoughtful of you, but I really don't plan on going back home yet just to fulfill my father's wishes. And just what do you plan on doing? All at once, the crowd roared again and flung themselves from their seats to cheer on the combatants below. The tension around your arm began to loosen as Leandros turned his attention to see what the fuss was all about. Despite Leandros' vigilant guard, he had a tendency to get a bit jumpy and distracted around loud noises, granting you the perfect opportunity to make your escape. All this crap you know about your brother, and you didn't know who was sitting next to you that whole time. Okay, your arms slipped out easily from his hands, and before he knew it, you were free from his hold. Matthew, don't you dare! He had little time to catch you, but it was too early to celebrate. His claws had just enough reach to tear into the fabric of your cloak, pulling you back. Gah! You nearly tripped over the cloak. Oh, you nearly tripped, but the cloak kept you from falling down. Though it was pulled taut against your neck, cutting off your circulation. Damn. The cloak was a lasso around your neck, and Leandros began to reel you in, leaving you buckling like some kind of wild horse. Matthew, you're making this harder on yourself than it needs to be. Like, bro, chill. Let's just go home. Let's get this party over with. You don't want to be there, I don't want to be there, but somebody gotta be there, and I don't count. So, your face grew red and hot from lack of air, though the lion likely didn't even realize in his zealous arrest. Yeah, he. I feel like this is more of like a brotherly reaction than like a police tier reaction, because like you shouldn't be choking people out. You should be like more aware, you know? I'm just saying. Any moment you were likely to pass out, but you couldn't let that happen. You couldn't let him catch you and take you back home. You clawed at the cloth like leash wrapped around your throat and dug your fingers into a hole. Using all your strength, you ripped at it, tearing you free and leaving Leandros with nothing but the tattered remains of an old mantle. Matthew! Leandros was flung backwards. Can you imagine? Like, he tore through it, it rips, and you see Leandro's eyes just go, like, wide open, and he is falling back, like, nigga. Like, sir. I want to see that. I don't trust myself to draw that. Someone else draw it. That should be a CG. If not a CG, then, like, some fan artist. Just do that. Do that. Leandros was flung backwards and you stumbled forward. People cursed as you blocked their view, but your only concern was getting to the exit first. You never bothered looking back as he continued to yell at you. You just needed to make it to the stairs and get out of the Coliseum as soon as possible. And we're gonna pause here. Thank you guys so much for watching. Again, my name is Franklin. This is Orgaysis, and this has been King's Guard. If you like this video, then please leave a like, turn on notifications, subscribe and turn on notifications so you know when I upload the minute that I do. Hidden Wall, this is game's creator. You can download the game in the description and in the comment section. The links to that would be in those places. Happy October. I believe that's all I have to say, so I'll see you guys in the next video.